My name is Kirby Fowler. I'm president of the Downtown Partnership. I want to welcome you here today. I think I know everybody here anyway, but it's nice to see so many friendly faces who help support this project and help to bring it to fruition. I want to first give a few remarks about how we got here, but eventually I'll be probably thanking every one of you in the audience. But I want to first give some background and also I want to give you some behind-the-scenes thinking of what led to this project. The purpose of a public space is to appeal to all, not just tourists. Is to unify and is to connect. Is to encourage human interaction. Is to enhance and support neighboring buildings, and is to provide inspiring vistas. When you think throughout the country and throughout the world, this is not the only place that has traffic all around it. There are great public places throughout the country and throughout the world that have done a great job being surrounded by traffic. The Columbus Circle in New York City, the squares of Savannah, DuPont Circle in DC, and the list goes on and on and on. And now we think about the purpose of a memorial. A memorial should honor an individual's accomplishments. It should educate future generations, and it should recall important historic steps leading us to this present time and also into the future. So back in the 1980s, actually in the 1970s, our inspired predecessors understood the value of this location. They helped to create this fountain called the Waterfall. It was not called the McKeldin Fountain, it was called the Waterfall. And that was opened in 1982 thanks to the Meyerhoff family. And you'll be hearing shortly from Buffy Minkin from the Meyerhoff family. But they were the generous benefactors to create that fountain. And that was when concrete was all the rage, and we certainly understand why it was adopted and designed at that time. Skywalks were built at that time too. It encouraged suburbanites to return to downtown, but it also encouraged suburbanites to avoid the street level activity. But that area, this park, named after Governor and Mayor McKeldin, and then also that waterfall, they were catalysts for growth. They led to all this around us. And when the fountain worked, it actually created many positive memories for many people. But most began to realize that the park was not an ideal public space or even a proper memorial. You know, at some point, it just became one-time visit for people. Residents of Baltimore would come here one time in their lifetime for the most part. It also had significant maintenance challenges. About $400,000 per year it cost the city to run that fountain. The physical structure of the fountain itself provided secluded corners, which led to, unfortunately, some bad behavior. And people were very hard-pressed to know or learn anything about Governor and Mayor McKeldin. So about 15 years ago, our predecessors started to dig up concepts, and so did we. We started to dig up concepts that were done by Cooper Robertson and other groups, which led to the Pratt Street redesign. This was a group effort with city officials, with agencies like the Planning Department, Baltimore Development Corporation, City Department of Transportation. All those groups came together to create this great plan for the Pratt Street redesign, which we've been implementing ever since. Part of that plan was this important space here, honoring Governor and Mayor McKeldin. We were told, and we learned pretty quickly, that there were certain disadvantages and inherent difficulties with this space. So we contacted the most important partners. We contacted the McKeldin family, and they said, we could do better. We contacted the Meyerhoff family. They said, we could do better. We contacted Sasuko Ono, who's here in the audience today, who did these sculptures that are now here to the side. She worked with the Baltimore Office of Promotion of the Arts to install sculptures in the fountain basin, but she thought we could do better as well. So we embarked upon a long journey requiring the assistance of dozens and dozens of people, all the people here in the audience today. We raised money, and this is a perfect public-private partnership, Madam Mayor. It was a third private, a third state, and a third city. It was a perfect combination. And thank you to all of you who contributed, and you'll be hearing more from some of the funders in a few minutes. But today, we have a space that is green and open and inviting, a space that connects and supports its neighboring buildings, a space that brings people back to the street level where the real world exists, and retail too. And now, in a few weeks, you'll soon see a space that educates people about the life and legacy of Theodore McKeldin. We're going to unveil this great sign here. We're going to stand it up 10 feet tall, but it turns out even this mock-up is too heavy. But this sign, we'll talk about this in a moment, but this sign will be here along with two other signs to educate people about the history and legacies of Governor and Mayor Theodore McKeldin. In addition, this space actually refers back to history, immediate history, what happened in the 1980s, 1990s, and the 2000s. If you look at what they call gaming boxes, where you can see below these benches, that concrete stone is from the fountain itself. The signs that will be posted around the plaza will have photos of the fountain as well as the intersection the way it looked in the 1960s and beyond. So we're not turning our back on history, but we are moving forward into a new era. I urge you at some point to check out the before and after shots that are outside the tent. It's funny, people forget pretty quickly what used to precede it. I remember presenting at the Hyatt for the State of Downtown breakfast just a few months ago, and I spoke to the general manager and said, so it looks a lot different now, and she had no idea there was ever a fountain here because she's brand new to Baltimore. So you have to remind people sometimes about what preceded them. Now, this wasn't possible without the support of everyone here today and many who could not be here as well. This is not the end of the design process, as parks can be improved year after year. The stainless steel signage will go up. There will be a water feature shortly, and perhaps someday this space can even be connected physically to Harbor Place. Now, before I get into the speeches beyond my own, I want to acknowledge my own team. They worked so hard to make this happen. And can I have Bob Dengler and Lito Thompson just step up here? Come on, Lito. Where's Bob? Bob. They put in hours after hour after hour to make this happen. They had to deal with me day after day after day. But thank you very much, Bob. Anita, thank you. And they are helping to recreate so many spaces in downtown Baltimore, but I want to thank you for all you've done. Thank you very much. Also, Mike Evans was in the trenches with me at every step of the way. Mike, where are you? Thank you very much for helping us get to this point. Michelle Rakowski helping us to manage the financial money. Linda House, where's Linda? Helped us to raise money. Thank you, Linda, very much. Stephanie Hartzell from the Downtown Partnership, also helping out finances. David Barbour, Carrie DeVilbiss helping out as well. The teams that helped here today to set up this event. Shannon Brown and the events team, marketing with Megan Eisenach, and operations with Bertina Silver. Thank you very much. And remember, I said we don't forget the past. We have some former employees here who worked with us. Nan Moore, from 2006 and on, worked on the Pratt Street Initiative and helped with this to get the design to where it needed to be. Thank you, Nan. Thank you very much. And is Kate Daly here as well? There's Kate. Kate helped us find some money. So thank you, Kate. Kate worked on Nan's team as well. We don't forget. We don't forget. Especially if you can bring in more money, Kate. That'd be nice. So with that, I'd like to introduce our great mayor, Mayor Catherine Pugh. She is a unifier, and this project represents not just physical but symbolic unification. It brings downtown together as well as the city. It also reflects the ever-changing nature of downtown, a central place that appeals to all these new residents, and these residents are creating a neighborhood that has been recognized by the Baltimore Sun after looking through all the data as one of the most integrated and diverse neighborhoods in the city. Great things are happening here. And let me just talk about the city partners briefly who helped us with this project. First of all, your mayor's office, your predecessor, Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, Calliope Parthemis, and Colin Tarbert, who's still with your team. That was a good move. He's a great secret weapon there. The City Council, and I believe President Jack Young will be here shortly. He called me this morning. Planning Department, Tom Stoser, for years and years, instrumental to all our projects on Pratt Street. There he is, over there. Thank you, Tom. The Baltimore Development Corporation, Baltimore Office of Promotion of the Arts, Bill Gilmore, thank you very much. We're going to miss you. The Department of Transportation, the Rec and Parks is Tim Almager here from Rec and Parks. He helped us out as well. The Waterfront Partnership, not a city agency, but they're going to keep this maintained and continue to work with us, and we're going to have a storage facility for you shortly. Don't worry, it's coming. Thank you very much. And it's going to cost them money to maintain, so thank you very much as well. So with that, please welcome to the podium our great mayor, Mayor Catherine Pugh.
I was glad to hear that last part, that they will be maintaining that so we don't have that $400,000 bill every year. But let me just say thank you. I'm really excited, and you're absolutely right. This does not happen without partnership. So I want to thank you first, Kirby, and thank the many people who actually made this day possible. And so I too will run through a list of folks because I think it's important that we say thank you to Dr. J. Perman. Thank you so much as the chair of the board. To our council president, who's not quite here yet, but I know that he will be. To our comptroller, thank you so much for all the work that you do. To the entire McKeldin family, we say thank you. Thank you for lending. Thank you for providing. Thank you for allowing us to use the leadership of your family to help move our city and our state forward. Also, of course, Buffy Minkin, Joseph and Harvey Meyerhoff, thank you so much with their charitable funds. Councilman Eric Costello, thank you. Kiefer Mitchell, Chief of Staff for the Office of the Governor. I don't know why we're thanking you, except for the governor. So please let him know that we thank him, but thank you for being here as well. That's an old running joke. We used to sit beside each other when we were council people. To the State House Secretary Kenneth Holt, thank you. Bill Stromberg of T. Rowe Price, We're always grateful. Tim Regan, I cannot say enough about all of the work that you do for us and the city. And Tony Moog, thank you from Whiting Turner. And of course, to our former mayor, Stephanie Rollins Blake, we're also grateful. You know, I always say to folks that it is important that we carry on some of the traditions and the things that others did before us, because oftentimes people will come along and wipe out the memories of others, and this is an example of not wiping out someone's memory who's done so much for so many. First and foremost, again, I want to thank the McKeldin family. Today we celebrate former Mayor McKeldin, Governor McKeldin. His legacy is unmatched, and we're so grateful. In fact, it was his vision that made Baltimore one of the first urban renewal success stories in the nation. I can think of no better way to honor his legacy than by turning the plaza that bears his name into an inviting place for Baltimoreans. The McKeldins are joined by another distinguished local family that we know so well, again, that have done so much for our city, and that is the Meyerhoffs, whose family foundation was critical to funding both the original construction of the plaza and its current design. Governor Hogan and several state agencies were also partners with this endeavor. Represented, as I've already announced, Kiefer, but Kenneth Holt. This was truly public-private partnership, as Kirby mentioned. I join him in thanking the many funders for once again providing the good things happen when our stakeholders are part of the same team. You know, yesterday was a great day for Baltimore, and I can promise you more great days like today in Baltimore, because people believe in the success that we've had in the past and the success that we will have in the future. Finally, I'd like to recognize again our President of City Council and Eric Costello, because they too have been on the ground with this project. They predate me on this project and were the city's officials, including the mayor, Stephanie Rollins Blake, who supported this project early on. You also mentioned Tom Stoser, Bill Cole, Colin, who is our secret weapon and is never going anywhere as long as I'm here, and so many other dedicated city officials. We thank you all. We really do. When the plaza was built, it was a groundbreaking example of placemaking. It was also an expression of optimism at a time when our city was changing. And I think we find ourselves in that fork road currently, because we know that change is on its way. And again, partnerships, private and public, are essential to the forward movement of our city. Little did we know that one day there would be so many people living and working on the edge of this space. I mean, just turn around and look at that building going up. I think that's going to be one of the tallest apartment buildings in the city. The planning process to conceptualize this area is what's really impressive, including collaboration with world-renowned Project for Public Places out of New York City. That deserves a round of applause. We had a whole bunch of folks from New York City here on yesterday. That process took time, and the results behind me are proof that the effort certainly was worth it. This place is hallowed ground for anyone who camped here when Pope John Paul II visited Baltimore in 1995, to the people who watched countless parades and 2 Super Bowl victories, celebrations right here in Baltimore with our Ravens. I actually went down to our first Super Bowl. It was so exciting. And annual Hanukkah celebrations. And people come here to enjoy our New Year's Eve and our 4th of July celebration. This is the place. This is our space. I look forward to joining and creating an atmosphere in this park, and to seeing how a new McKeldin Plaza will invigorate events like we had the Book Festival and Light City. Congratulations to everyone. I can tell you that this is certainly a job well done. But what I want you all to know is that we're inspired every day by this kind of commitment on behalf of our partners, because we realize as a city we can't do this work by ourselves. I think about BOPA, and I think about Bill and his years of commitment to Baltimore City. We're so grateful. I know you're going to leave us, but we will never forget you. I told him, I'll find that other thing that you need to do, because as he said to me, I'm just looking to do something different, and we'll find a place and a space for you as well. And what I want to inspire you all to do is to recognize that our best days are in front of us. Every city goes through trials and tribulations, but what keeps us going is the hope of the individuals of our city. And again, the commitment of all of us to continue to work together. I'm excited, I hope you are, and we look forward to working together in the future. Thank you.
what the mayor was referring to about yesterday, Michael Bloomberg, Warren Buffett, and the head of Goldman Sachs were all in town, and they expressed a vote of confidence in this mayor as well as our city, and they announced another $10 million grant to the city for more small businesses. So congratulations. It is now.
I want to toot my own horn.
I'll toot it for you. The next speaker is Dr. Jay Perman. He is the head of University of Maryland, Baltimore, but more importantly, the chair of the Downtown Partnership Board. He has taught us, if you believe in something, don't give up. And we followed his advice from day one on this. I want to thank him for all his support, as well as our board of directors of the Downtown Partnership. Please welcome to the podium, Dr. Jay Perman.
You know, I usually say it the other way around. The university's my day job, but I'm straightened out now. Now I know. Well, it's good to see all of you. I'm very privileged to join Mayor Pugh in echoing her thanks to all of you for the support and the vision that made the really magnificent rebirth of this plaza possible. I thank the entire mayor's office, the city council, President Jack Young, and Councilman Eric Costello were early backers of this project. I thank Secretary Holt and the Department of Housing and Community Development, and I thank the governor on behalf with your representation here, Kiefer. Yeah, thank you. Again, the mayor, Kirby, mentioned many corporate and philanthropic partners who saw the potential of this revitalization project and put their influence and their money behind it. And my partner, of course, I thank Kirby and all the members of our great organization, the Downtown Partnership, for proving that we can get things done downtown. Improving McKeldin Square was part of our original Pratt Street redesign project, and it took years, as you heard, of public engagement for the planning, the fundraising, the execution. Just like the original Inner Harbor renewal decades ago, it took time to create a vision, to win the support of Baltimore's people, and to get all the details just right. And just like the original renewal decades ago, clearly you can see the time was well spent. This reopening of the plaza signals our confidence in the beautiful future of this city, where more people are clamoring to live, work, and play than at any time before. This plaza is for the people of Baltimore and for the city's 25 million visitors each year who know just how much Baltimore has to offer. The plaza redesign is new, but it's really an investment in an old-fashioned idea, the idea of the public square, the idea that public spaces draw us together by giving us a common experience and a common point of reference. They bring us together in celebration, yes, sometimes protest, in sadness and joy, in pride for our city, in a never-ending quest under the mayor's leadership to make it even better. So I can't wait to see what the next 35 years of McKeldin Square look like. I hope I last that long. And I really can't wait to see the vibrant spirit of community that grows here. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Perman. It is now my honor to introduce Comptroller Joan Pratt. We've enjoyed working with your team for so many years on so many different projects, and I can tell you, I know you recognize the essential public-private partnerships that underlie downtown success and the city's success, and I just want to welcome you to the podium, Comptroller Joan Pratt. Thank you very much.
Good good morning, Madam Mayor, elected officials, the McKeldin family, friends, and guests. Welcome and thank you for the honor of being here for the grand reopening of McKeldin Plaza. Can you believe we are here on a terrace of grass and trees, an oasis amid our bustling downtown city? Looking around me, I see the fruit of over a decade of imagination that grew into a clear vision of hard work and determination. I extend my utmost thanks and unending gratitude to Kirby Fowler and the staff of the Downtown Partnership, David Rubin and the Land Collective, for creating a public space where we can come together as tourists and residents alike to relax and enjoy this wonderful city. I also have this fan. On this fan, there is a quote from Governor and Mayor McKeldin, but it doesn't have the entire quote, and I would like to read the entire quote. In addition to, after it says what his vision was, it states, in this, we have a very special opportunity for a few other cities in the world have been blessed as ours with such a potentially beautiful harbor area within the very downtown. And he says this, too visionary this, too dreamlike, certainly not. And so over 50 years ago, Governor and Mayor McKeldin asked us to envision an inner harbor and to use our imagination to create a fascinating landscape of buildings, parks, homes, marinas on this beautiful harbor area located in the heart of Baltimore City. Again, in McKeldin's own words, too visionary this, too dreamlike, certainly not. And here we are today. Today we see the fruition of Governor Mayor McKeldin's vision and his dreams coming true. As we look around the vastness of our harbor, we see fountains, water, the World Trade Center, hotels, restaurants, residential condos, apartments. So, as Governor and Mayor McKeldin said, his dreams and visions were certainly attainable when we work together as a city with our elected officials, our partners, our community to bring the very best to our citizens and our visitors. I know that the Downtown Partnership of Baltimore and all the partners of this project are committed to Governor and Mayor McKeldin's vision. I hope this beautiful space inspires others to imagine and dream of ways to make our city even better and even more beautiful than it is now. I look forward to the continued development of McKeldin Plaza and all that it will offer. Thank you very much. And Mayor, you said that in the next 35 years you wanted to see what this would be like, and we'll be centenarians and we will be here. Someone will bring us down here to see it, right?
Not with the new technology of medicine.
Oh, with the new technology of medicine, we can walk down.
Yeah.
We have to run down.
Running down.
We're actually about to install an the ADA ramp right over here, so you'll be all set. Okay, good. Well, thank you very much, Madam Comptroller. Now, before we get to the other funders and speakers, I'd like to get to the families. I'm a guy who was born in New Jersey. I didn't step foot in Baltimore till I was 24. Didn't even know what Baltimore was. But I went to college, and so 33 years ago, I met Caroline McKeldin. I had no idea what this McKeldin name meant at all. But for some reason, I remember that day distinctly when I met her, and it was very unusual. And I never knew how she cursed me that day. No, I'm kidding. I never knew how our lives would be linked for all these years, 33 years ago. But she's been a friend of ours for many, many years, our families, and also, with her mother, Courtney McKeldin, they have always told me to be patient, but also they said, don't push too hard, don't worry, we don't want to disturb anything. But they recognized they wanted a better space to honor the Governor and Mayor McKeldin, and their family inspires me day after day. And now I've learned so much about Governor McKeldin and his legacy. It's not just the Inner Harbor, it's so much more. He led desegregation efforts in schools and public facilities, and not many people remember that either. So there's many, many parts of his legacy that we greatly appreciate, but it's really the family that matters today. So with that, I'd like to bring up to the stage Courtney McKeldin Wayner. No, Caroline McKeldin Wayner. I know her, 33 years.
It's okay, I'm always Courtney's daughter, for those of you who know Courtney. Kirby, and just wanted to thank you all. On behalf of the whole McKeldin family, I want to thank Kirby, the Downtown Partnership, and all the enormous work you've done for so long, and your patience. thank also the mayor and the city of Baltimore, governor, state of Maryland, all the funders, all the designers, everyone involved in transforming this space into something more green, more accessible, and just more beautiful. And thank you so much for honoring my grandfather's legacy and his vision for a more beautiful downtown Baltimore. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Caroline. And Courtney, more will happen here as well. We're going to keep on building and building upon this as we go along. I'd now like to introduce the council president, Jack Young. Now we'll give you. Would you like to breathe for a second? Okay. He called me this morning, told me he was at a community meeting because he's always working so hard. But the council president, Bernard Jack Young, has been a supporter of downtown for so many years. He understands that downtown is the fastest growing residential neighborhood in the city, and he helps to make it happen day after day. Have you been able to grab a breath? Yes. You ready? All right. Well, please welcome to the podium, President Jack Young. Thank you very much.
Good morning to everyone. What a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm happy to be joined here by our mayor, by my colleague on the council, Councilman Costello, whose district we're in, and the comptroller, Joan Pratt. I just want to just be very brief. This is a wonderful, wonderful looking park now. I mean, from what it used to look like, it was kind of, dull looking, and people ride by here and try to figure out what it was. Now they can figure out this is a wonderful park where you can come and enjoy yourself. And I just want to thank Kirby Fowler Downtown Partnership and all of the partners for making this happen. And I want to thank the mayor because I know her administration was committed to making sure that we see this to fruition. And I'm just happy that we're here today to celebrate this grand opening. Thank you.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, President Young, for all your leadership. Now, getting back to the families. We're privileged here today to have Buffy Mencken, who runs the Meyerhoff Family Charitable Funds. Did I get it right? Okay, good. But I've known Buffy for a long time, too. Not 33 years, but for a while. But when you have the support of the McKeldin family, the Meyerhoff family, Susuko Ono, to the buildings all around you, you know you have to make a change, despite the good things that had happened here. And it was critical that Buffy stepped up and became the first funder and issued a challenge grant for us. Without that, maybe this would never happen. So with that, I'd like to welcome to the podium Buffy Mencken.
Thank you for everybody who's here today. This is quite an extraordinary opportunity for all of us to see what's possible when partnership really works and when people from the private sector, the public sector, all come together, and the corporate sector as well, to work in partnership to make a new vision a reality. So I'm really privileged to be standing here with Caroline because we're both grandchildren of the McKeldin family, for Caroline, and myself with Bud and Lynn Meyerhoff. And Bud and Lynn Meyerhoff answered Governor and Mayor McKeldin's call to help fund the fountain in the late 70s to make his vision for this public meeting space a reality. And my grandparents really believed, and my grandfather, who's still alive, does believe in creating spaces where people can come together to talk about things, to share in good times, and to do all of the things that we were talking about that public spaces should be. So to see the evolution of this project is extraordinary. We're very excited about this initial new phase, and we're looking forward to what's to come, and we all are very much looking forward to the water feature that will happen in the future as well. And I'm really proud to be able to stand here on behalf of the family today, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Buffy. She didn't add, is your grandfather who lives right in one of these buildings, right? Who has overseen the construction of this project.
Probably been out here monitoring it.
Well, hello. Thank you very much, wherever you are. Thank you. So I'd now like to move on to another friend of the Downtown Partnership, Councilman Eric Costello. He's a supporter and tireless advocate for downtown, and on this project as well, he stepped up and helped at the right time, which he always does. With that, I'd like to bring to the podium Councilman Eric Costello. Thank you.
It's great to be here this morning with Mayor Pugh and the Comptroller and Council President Young. I think Kirby mentioned earlier that I was an early supporter of this project, and it was very easy because, as Kirby knows, every day I drive down the Calvert Street spur to get to work, and I drove by that fountain every day. And it was very easy. But with that, I want to say that the real reason why it was easy to support this project is because I knew that the Meyerhoff family and the McKeldin family were so involved in this project in trying to find a way to replicate Governor and Mayor McKeldin's vision for downtown with your family's support. And I also want to mention I'm incredibly appreciative for Kirby and your staff for everything that you guys do in downtown. Most folks may not see it until we come upon days like this, but that's what all the hard work is going toward, is so that we're all here today to celebrate something that really works for everyone downtown. So thank you.
I don't believe Councilman Costello ever sleeps, but you don't look like that. But I know he works extremely hard, so thank you very much. Now, it's a shame that I've waited this long to get to the state partners because the state funding was critical. Everyone knows Kiefer Mitchell. He's a familiar face, not just here, but under the JFX when you're selling. Are you still selling juice? Yeah. All right, I got you. Good. Still squeezing the juice. The squeeze. Yeah. But he's an important voice. All right. Getting back to the program again. But Kiefer Mitchell is an important voice for Baltimore every day in the State House. He's always been a supporter. He was on the Downtown Partnership Board at one point as well. He was our representative at one point as well. We know that Governor Hogan is a big fan of Governor McKeldin, and I'm sure he'll refer to that in a moment. But we did get his title wrong. He's not Chief of Staff for the Governor. He's the new White House Communications Director. So please welcome to the podium, Kiefer Mitchell.
I didn't know there was going to be a roast here today, so thank you very much. First of all, Madam Mayor, President Young, Madam Controller, and Councilman, it's great to be here. To the McKeldin family, it's great to be here. Kirby referred to Governor Mayor McKeldin for his works, not just in his vision for downtown and the harbor, but also his works for civil rights. And it was my great-grandmother, Lily Jackson, and my grandmother, Juanita Jackson Mitchell, who worked closely with Governor McKeldin and Mayor McKeldin back when it wasn't popular to be part of civil rights and to integrate schools and parks. But Mayor McKeldin and Governor McKeldin had that vision. And there's a quote, and actually in my office there's a picture I have of Governor McKeldin meeting with both my grandmothers in the governor's office when he was the governor of Maryland, working on some civil rights issues. But Governor McKeldin had a quote, he'd rather have the devil after him than my great-grandmother, Lily Jackson. So just want to say it's great to have these connections. The other connection I have is the fountain was built in, 1982. And as a young freshman, my class came down here to the Science Center and all, the harbor, just to have a nice warm spring field trip. So me being always the one that was always wanting to do the right thing with my class and everything and not getting in trouble, I decided that I would take some of my friends and we decided to jump in the fountain on that warm day. Little did I know my grandmother's secretary was here eating lunch. I went home, I got a phone call. Well, I got in trouble with my school, so I spent many afternoons late at school. But I got a phone call from my grandmother admonishing me for disrespecting the legacy of Governor McKeldin, and that's how I learned about all the works that the governor did by having to write a 3-page paper to my grandmother about it. So that's that connection. The other connection, obviously, is with Governor Hogan and the state partnership. Kirby, during this process, had me on speed dial and email. The mayor and her office were working together to get the funding through the state to make sure that we had the money and the funds to build this and have this beautiful open space for downtown, as the mayor referred to as Baltimore's front lawn. And so it's great to be part of that partnership. The other thing I would just like to add is in the governor's office, in his actual office, is a portrait of Governor McKeldin, his official portrait that was painted after he left office as governor. And it's not in the ceremonial room, it is in the actual Governor Hogan's office. And the reason it's in there is, not trying to sound partisan, the governor, yes. Governor McKeldin was the last Republican governor to be reelected to the state of Maryland. So Governor Hogan has that in his office to bring him good luck in 2018. Thank you very much for this great day, and thank you, Kirby.
Thank you, Kiefer. I told you the fountain led to bad behavior, right? But Kiefer, I don't know if Secretary Holt is here, Kenneth Holt, I don't believe so. But would you pass along our thanks to his team as well, and Kevin Baines, because they were helpful in securing funds for us as well. Thank you very much. Now, getting on to the private funders. There's so many private funders and public who helped to make this happen. But the private funders provided 1/3 of the funding for this project to come to fruition. There's a downtown partnership, of course, on the public side. Excuse me. Mayor Catherine Pugh in the City of Baltimore, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, Governor Lawrence Hogan of the State of Maryland, City President Jack Young, and City Councilman Eric Costello, the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, and the Waterfront Partnership, the McKeldin family itself, the Meyerhoff family. But now moving on to the corporate funders we really haven't mentioned today. T. Rowe Price was an early funder, and I see Jim Kennedy here, who's been on our board for many, many years. Thank you, Jim. I know you pushed this through, but I understand. I received an email from Bill Stromberg, your CEO now, who said it made quite a difference for the organization for T. Rowe Price. But thank you for that, and also I believe Ken Moreland and also Renee Christoph are here as well. Thank you very much to T. Rowe Price. I think we get to applaud T. Rowe Price for that major contribution. Whiting Turner Company matched T. Rowe Price for a very large contribution. And I want to thank Tim Regan and Tony Moog. Tony serves on our board of directors as well. Thank you very much. This couldn't happen without you. One East Pratt helped out in many different ways. I don't know if anybody's here from One East Pratt, but thank you very much to One East Pratt. 100 East Pratt across the street as well. Not just T. Rowe Price, but also your landlord. Harbor Place Ashkenazi Acquisition Corp. The owners of Harbor Place obviously have been a major supporter, and also an anonymous supporter, financial supporter. You know who you are. But finally, I believe I hit all the different funders. But finally, I'd like to mention Miles and Stockbridge. For decades, I don't know how many years has your firm been in existence. 80 years. For 80 years, they've been making a difference for our city and our state and beyond. But really, with the leadership of John Frisch at the head of Miles and Stockbridge, he's brought his firm to a new level. He's an energetic civic leader. He contributed to this project. His firm contributed to this project. And he was the chair of the Downtown Partnership Board right as the 2008 master plan for Pratt Street was put into effect. So please help me to welcome John Frisch, our friend, to the podium.
I really don't have much to add other than to extend the Kirby's and Jay's thanks and the mayor's thanks to all of the corporate donors, the Whiting Turners, T. Rowe's, the 100, each of the 100 Pratt Streets, who made very, very substantial contributions to this. And we have a great tradition, I think, in the city of strong civic citizenship, and this is an example of that. And those organizations contribute in many other ways to really important things for our city. You know, a sense of place is really, really important to the city. Ken Moreland and I were talking earlier, and he said, boy, what a difference just the view out the windows is into this. But I've had the opportunity to come over and have lunch several times and just sit on the bench and connect with colleagues and connect with folks who sit near you that I would never connect with otherwise, and to make these kinds of connections that I know are important to the mayor's vision for a much more inclusive Baltimore. This is a place that can bring that vision to life. The last thing I'd simply like to say, Kirby, is congratulations to you and your team. One of the reasons I think the corporate community is eager to support the downtown partnership and step to the plate in projects like this is because they get done, because the organization gets things done. And one of the things that this is a real testament to is to your patience. Because this was, and it really, but that's a very important thing. And so thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you, John, and all the funders. Now, before I conclude, I cannot leave out all the people who worked very hard day after day to bring the design and the construction of this plaza and square to its current state. We had many landscape architecture firms and architecture firms working on the project. We started off with Air St. Gross, Adam Gross and Jonathan Chechi, who inspired us to move to this concept. Mahan Reichel with Richard Jones, Ziegler Sneed with Steve Ziegler and Katie Zay. Where are you? They helped design this beautiful signage, which we are going to have a nice photo op with in a moment. That signage will appear, hopefully, right over there, and 2 smaller signs. I already referred to the fact that there'll be some historic reference to what used to be here, as well as Governor and Mayor McKeldin's accomplishments. But it'll be very it'll be very easy to learn about McKeldin and Governor McKeldin thanks to your inspired design, which we'll see in a moment. Thank you very much, Steve and Katie. And Land Collective. So David Rubin has been also another great friend of the city, and he, along with Emily, helped to come up with this design here. We don't know how long it'll last, but I think it's fantastic for many, many years. But we'll continue to work to see and upgrade, but I think it's pretty damn good to begin with. So thank you very much for this design. And then the engineers and contractors have to follow suit. JMT, thank you, John and JMT. Potts and Callahan, Bensky, and Flora Teeter. And I don't know if our attorneys here who helped us, but you can't forget the attorneys. John Steerhoff from Venable helped us out as well. So thank you all to all of you who worked day after day to make this happen. So with that, I'd like to invite all the speakers up to help us with the photo op. But before I do that, sorry, Madam Comptroller read the quote, but I want to read it as well. It's on the sign. On the back of the sign, it'll reference all the funders, so we're happy to acknowledge you and grateful for your support. But the quote is, envision with me a new Inner Harbor area where the imaginative man can take advantage of a rare gift of nature to produce an enthralling panorama of office buildings, parks, high-rise apartments, and marinas. In this, we have a very special opportunity, for few other cities in the world have been blessed, as has ours, with such a potentially beautiful harbor area within the very heart of downtown. Too visionary this? Too dreamlike? Certainly not. He knew what was going to happen. Thank you very much, Governor and Mayor McKeldin. Thank you very much for coming today, for making this all happen.